Hello and welcome back to the Reapers. So today we're on the Viggen AJS37 and we're looking at setting up the HOTAS controls or the joystick controls. So we go from our main menu, we're going to go to options, got controls tab here. On the left here we're going to select our plane, AJS37, and here we go. Now I'm going to clear my categories because I've already got my controls set up. You don't need to do that obviously. Clear category, yes. Clear category, yes. Clear category, yes. Right. Okay. So my HOTAS is an X56 Cytec Rhino. You will almost certainly have something different. So you probably won't be able to have exactly the same setup as I do. But if you watch and see which commands I put on the joystick and roughly where I put them, you can roughly emulate where I put them. And then when you go and watch my tutorials through for that particular plane, it just seems to help everyone a lot. So let's get on with it then. So first thing we're going to do is up here and axis, or we'll start with the axis commands. It's nice and clear at the moment. So the first thing we want is our pitch control here, and you can see that this column here is for our keyboard entries. This here is the left half of our HOTAS, so that is like the thrust lever if you like. And here we've got this column here is the right hand of a HOTAS, so you know the control stick. So let's get the pitch. I want it on my control stick, which is there. I'm going to double click on that there. Push the stick forward all the way, push the stick back all the way. It's picked it up. Okay, just double check by moving it. Yep, that's the pitch. So select it, axis tune. The red dot is nicely centered at the moment, so we don't need any dead zone. What we are going to need is a bit of curvature, and I just like a generic 25 for all of my planes, so 25 curve. Okay, that's that. And we want roll, so let's go to roll, over to here, double click on that, and left and right, and it's picked it up. Test. Yep, it's got it. Axis tune. Again, 25 on that, please. No dead zone required. As long as it's roughly in that little back square. I don't usually add any dead zone. 25, please. Okay, lovely. Right. Next we have the rudder, so it's going to be on the same. I can't use my feet, so I'm going to have to use my twist stick on my stick. So twist left, twist right. There, it's picked it up. Joystick RZ. Okay, test. Lovely. Axis tune, same thing, 25. There we go. Lovely. Okay, that's that. Now we've got the thrust, so that we're going on to the left side of the HOTAS now. Let's double click on that. Let's go thrust lever forward, thrust lever back. It's picked it up, test it. Lovely, and we won't need any curve on that. We'll keep that as linear. Wheel brake, we're going to have that as a binary command rather than analog axis command. Zoom view, we do like that on these axis commands, so I'm going to have it on my left. Part of my HOTAS, I've got a nice turny thing I can turn, so I'm turning it now. It's picked it up. Lovely, and I'm going to keep that linear. Okay, I believe that's all of the axis commands that I'm going to want, so stand by as we're going to the next one. In fact, what I'm going to do is go to all. Right, let's get cracking. Now, as ever, there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of commands. Look at all of these. Wow, that you could set up, and you can spend days doing that. So I'm just going to pick out the ones that I use, that I put on my HOTAS, that I use to fly 99% of my flights. And the rest we'll just leave basically because I can live without them. So first thing I want is my countermeasures, and to find that I'm going to go to search. I'm going to type in fast countermeasure dispense. That's the one I want. I want it on a button on my left HOTAS, that one there, and let's get him ping that one there. Okay, and let's get rid of that. The next one I like to have on my left HOTAS as well, always for all of my planes, is, and if the plane has it, is IR missile uncage. So IR missile uncage, so that allows me to uncage the seeker head in my IR missile. Very important, and I always have it on, and it's good to keep planes uniform like this. So the Viggen has more or less the same controls as the F5, which has more or less the same controls as the F15, and so on. So they're all uniform, so you don't have to relearn them every time you go and fly a new plane basically. Okay, so I'm going to double click that on the left HOTAS. I'm going to have it there. I was going to come to this one later, but I've just seen it's got IR fast select, so why don't we select that as well. So this basically, if you're just flying along and you've and you're not set up for missiles or anything like that for air-to-air combat, you press this and it selects your missiles, selects your Fox 2 and sets you up for combat basically. It's like an emergency button. I have that on my right stick along with my emergency stuff, and I'm going to have it as this one on the left here. Lovely. Right, what have we got next? On back to the left HOTAS again. So, whoopsie, we are going to have an autopilot. Now it has lots of autopilot modes and whatnot, but I always have at least one autopilot setting on my generic autopilot button on the left HOTAS, and so altitude hold is the one I use most of the time. So we're going to set that as my generic autopilot there, just in case. Okay, what have we got next? The next thing on my HOTAS left is my air brake. So let's go and find that. Air brake, is it one word? Yes, it is. So on this up and down switch I've got, I want the air brake there, in there, and the air brake out brackets force there, and those are the only two I want there. Okay. And I think the last one on this left HOTAS is going to be the landing gear. Don't want to have to press the keyboard every time, so landing gear should pick it up. Landing space gear, there it is. So all I want is landing gear down as that part on the two-way switch, add another part of the two-way switch up there. Okay, so that's the left side of the HOTAS done, and so I've set all of those things exactly the same as I would have set them in any other plane basically. So it's all nice and uniform. Right, now we're going to shift over to the right hand stick and see what we need to start doing for that. Right, okay, so we've already done the axis command. So the first thing we want is our trigger. So I believe that's called weapon release in this aircraft. Weapon release, there he is. So we're on our right HOTAS now, and the main trigger, pong, there we go. Similar to that, it's going to be something called safety. Let me think, what was it called? Let's try safety. There it is, and it's safety bracket hold. That one there. So this is my secondary trigger that I use because a lot of planes have two triggers, and I'm going to use this as my safety hold. Okay, so I'm going to select that there on my right HOTAS. So when I need to fire my weapon, I'll keep my finger on that to hold the safety, and then I'll press the trigger at the same time. Okay, so that is that. Next on this stick, we've got three four-way hat switches on the top. That's pretty standard with most HOTASes, so you can all do this basically. So my top right one is going to be my trim hat. So let's go and search the trim. And there we go. So very simply, nose down, nose up, right wing down, my four-way switch, and left wing down. I don't use rudder trim, I never see enough use for it, so I'm going to leave that. That's that. The next on my bottom right four-way switch I'm going to use for my radar stick. Radar stick is something you will have to use for using anti-shipping missiles, so stand by. We've got a radar switch. No, that's the wrong. Radar stick it's called, isn't it? Blast, I can't find it now. Stand by. Oh, there it is. I found it. It's because for some reason it doesn't have a space between it, which is weird, but there it is. So it's radar, no space, stick. That's how you find it. Okay, and so let's go down on that four-way switch. Left, right, and up. Kapow, kapow. Lovely. Okay, that's that done, and we've got our third four-way switch on our right HOTAS, and this one is going to be used for setting the Mavericks basically. So let's go and search that. So this one is called the TV controls. So let's search TV, see what it comes up with. Okay, we've got TV fix. So this is one that we need, and I'm going to set it up on that four-way hat switch as the up. From memory, TV fix is basically it resets or bore sights the TV camera for the Maverick, or the RB75 I think it's called. Okay, you'll also need a T1 and a T0 fix. So let's search T1. I'm going to put it on that hat as well. It's going to be the right side, right control for that hat. I think from memory T1, I think that locks the target. So it's a bit like a target lock. Okay, there. And a T0, from memory, I think that clears the lock. So on our same four-way switch, so we're keeping all these controls grouped together on these four-way switches. Left. Okay, right, so that is the three commands that drive the Mavericks, the TV system with the Mavericks. Got the radar stick set up, got the trim set up. So what else have we got on this stick? Got my generic wheel brake here, so wheel brake, there he is. Let's get that. I use the same, whoops, that's not coming up for some reason. Yes it is, it's fine. Yep, so that's one I always use. That's that. That's everything on the HOTAS. So the only it doesn't have an auto start feature, I don't think, this plane, so we can't do that, unfortunately. What we can do is there is one more set of commands, and I don't have enough space on my HOTAS, so I'm going to have to add it to the keyboard annoyingly. It's the RB05 controls. So we're back to search. I'm not sure quite the syntax of this, so let's just type RB. There we go. 05. This is the missile you fire and then control by control it by hand, basically. A bit like a bit like a remote control missile. It's pretty awesome. Right, so I'm going to put it on my keyboard because I've run out of everything. Run out of HOTAS. So down, up, left, and right. Okay, there is a button you can hold here and allows you to use your control stick to control the RB25. I had troubles with it though. I just prefer using the keys to control it. And that's it basically. That's my Viggen setup. I hope that helps, and we'll see you later.